Hello, I'm Jason, the useless cook, and today I'm going to show you how to make mozzarella meatballs. Of course, the first thing you want to do is get your knife wet so the cheese doesn't stick when you cut a nice fresh mozzarella ball. Because you want to use fresh mozzarella for this, because it is the best tasting mozzarella out there. You just want to slice it in nice little cubes. You know, it doesn't take too much work, it's not too long, like so. Just keep getting your knife wet so it doesn't stick. Now some cheese will stick to it, but you know, not as bad as it normally would without the wet knife. Since I don't have a cheese knife. I just here, just cutting in nice little cubes, chunks, and I'm going to cube them up like so. And I'm dropping them in a bowl of water, the same water I was using to wet the knife. This way the cheese doesn't dry out, because you don't want your mozzarella cheese to be dry. As you see here, cut in little cubes, best as possible. Don't want them too big or too small. They won't be even, but it's fine. Just cut like so. Keep cutting until you get the desired you want. Alright, so there you go. You got yourself some nice cubed mozzarella. Now we're going to take and make the meatball mixture. This is 1 pound of ground beef, somewhat aged, that's why it's a little brown, and 1 pound of ground sausage, some onion powder, some pepper, all mixed up to your taste. I don't really measure, and some salt. I'm doing some Italian blend right here. I add a little bit more, it wasn't enough. What I'm going to do is mix it all together with our hands, just squish it all in there until it's nice and well mixed and evenly combined. This is the first step. It's best to use your hands because that's the only way to make it sure it's well mixed. So be sure to wash your hands, of course, as always. Now if you're new here, here you go here. Taking the egg, 1 egg, and a half cup of panko. And we're going to mix it together like so. Massage it in there until it's all well combined and mixed. This is going to be your glue to hold the meatballs together so they don't fall apart when you cook them. Kind of like a meatloaf. I'm going to take that nice egg and panko mixture. I'm going to drop it in with meat. I'm going to massage it right in until it's well mixed and combined. Don't worry if it's too, you have some chunks of panko in there, it's fine. Just keep mixing it until you get a nice meatball. Now we're going to dish it out, about 1 to 2 tablespoons of meat. Depending on how big you want the meatballs. I'm making them big enough to fit in the mini muffin tin. Now we're not going to exactly roll the balls right now, that can come on later. We're just trying to get the right sizes we want. As so. See, it's coming around nicely. I'm just using a disher or an ice cream scoop. It's the smallest one I have. It's about 1 to 2 tablespoons. And you just want to keep doing this until you got them all evenly out. Now I am using a mini muffin tin, so this way when I cook them, they stay round. But if you don't have a mini muffin tin, you can just use a regular baking sheet. Now you will get a flat spot, but that is fine. It doesn't change the taste. But I like to keep the meatballs round as possible. Now what we do here is we're going to flatten out the meatball. Take a bit of cheese, put it in the middle, crimp it all together so the cheese is no longer be on the seam. And you can take it, you can roll it between your hands to make a meatball. A nice round ball like so. Pop it back in the tin. Flatten it out like so. Add the cheese. Give it a roll. And back in the mini muffin tin. Make sure you don't see the cheese. Now you want to use a small piece, not too big a piece. That way the cheese doesn't leak out too bad. It will leak out a bit, but bigger the cheese, more will leak out. Because these meatballs will shrink as they cook. See there, I'm creeping it in, make sure the cheese is hidden. Really hard time getting that one out. Flatten it out. Like so. Pop the cheese in. Give it a roll. Down in your hands, like so. Look how nice that is. Now if you're new here, I would appreciate a sub, a like, and a comment. because that would help my channel grow, and I would like my channel to grow so I can share my tasty food with there as much people as possible. Anyway, I'm going to keep repeating this step until you get all the meatballs with the cheese in the center. Pop it in, give it a crimp, wrap it around your hand to make a nice little ball shape. Like so. There you go. Now you can put them in the oven at 325 for about 20 minutes or until they're fully cooked. Use a meat thermometer to check, of course. Now while they're cooking, we're going to take care of the sauce. Now I'm taking 1 can of diced tomato with Italian blend in it. I'm draining out the water. Just put it in a sieve and put it over a bowl. What we're going to do here, we're going to fry the diced tomatoes in some oil. This is going to take out the acid. It's going to reduce the acid flavor when you fry it. What we do here is fry it till it's nice, pasty, till all the tomatoes begin to break up. I'm going to squish them a bit, just roll them around in that oil, like so. Keep coming around nicely, very nicely. Just want to keep moving around because you don't want it to burn. As you see here, looks pretty good, don't it? You just want to keep moving it and keep moving it and keep moving it. What I'm doing here is breaking it up a bit to make the pieces a bit smaller. Coming around nicely. Now I'm never sure how much to show, how little to show. So I'm showing most of this, but not all of it. Just want to keep moving it around. Keep moving it. And yes, I know I'm repeating myself, but sometimes you need to. See that the oil's bubbling nicely. It's turning that kind of reddish. Of course, you don't want to use too much oil. Then your sauce will come out all oily and greasy. Now I'm adding some salt here, and then we show it very well. I don't like to add salt right away because it pulls out too much moisture, and I want the moisture to be steamed off instead of pulled out. That way your tomatoes aren't too salty. Almost time for the next step, coming up soon. We're squeezing out 1 small can of tomato paste. This will help thicken it up and add a different flavor to it. We'll change the flavor a bit because tomato paste is stewed, and that stewing adds a nice, good flavor to it. Trying to get out as much of that can I can and squish it on the pan. I don't want to waste any of it. Nobody wants to waste food, now do they? Now we're going to mix it all together, and when it's combined, the paste will absorb most of the oil, and that's what you want. That's why you don't want to use too much oil. It'll take a bit to get it mixed together well because the paste is still cold. As it heats up, it'll begin to loosen up and make it easier to mix, and it'll absorb that oil a bit more. As you see, there's not as much as it in the pan anymore. Now it's well mixed. We're adding 1 can of tomato sauce. And we're adding the juice back in from the first diced tomato can. Now we're going to mix this all together. It'll just be a nice thick sauce, and we're going to have to simmer for a few minutes to thicken up a bit more. Because this ain't really a pasta sauce. It's a sticky sauce. It's meant for things like meatball subs, which I'll be making in this video. Well, I'll show you at the end what I made with it. I forgot to record me making the meatball sub. Now we're adding some Italian seasoning, some pepper. Add as little or as much as you want. It's according to taste. Just give it a mix. Like so. And let it simmer. As you see, there's very little oil on the pan left. So let's keep mixing until it's all well combined. Let it simmer. It is sitting on the spot. I'm cleaning up a bit to make room for the meatballs to stick them out of the oven. And there they are, nice and cooked. Now some of the cheese did leak out, but that is fine. It was bound to happen. All you want to do is take the meatballs and drop them right into the sauce. Of course, I'm using tongs because the meatballs are still hot. And as you see, all the grease and oils in the bottom of the muffin tins. And you don't want to pour that into the sauce, of course, because it'll make it all too greasy. Now here's another angle of me dropping meatballs in the sauce. Let's keep doing it till all the kids are in the pool. Look at that. Nice mountain of meatballs. Now you're going to mix it until the meatballs are well combined. Like I said, this sauce is really sticky. Well, that's what you want. You want it to stick to the meatballs and whatever you put it on. There you go, you got yourself a mozzarella meatball. Now we're going to cut into one. Now I'm using a butter knife. I should have used a real knife. But hey, I just did what I had on hand. See there? Mozzarella meatball. Tasty, tasty, tasty. Now meatballs aren't very good by themselves. They're better in a sub like this. Now I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoyed the food. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.